My parents told me, stop asking about your adoption. There's nothing to find. 3 days later, they were the ones sitting at the table crying because the person I found knocked on their door. I was 17 when I first asked. We were eating dinner, just the three of us, and I mentioned how weird it was that I looked nothing like either of them. Mom's fork froze halfway to her mouth. Dad cleared his throat and said, genetics are funny that way. I pushed harder, asked if maybe I was adopted. Mom laughed, but it was that forced kind of laugh people do when they're uncomfortable. You're ours. That's all that matters. Drop it. But I couldn't drop it. Something had always felt off. The way certain relatives would look at me a little too long at family reunions. The locked filing cabinet in Dad's office that they pretended didn't exist. The fact that there were 0 photos of Mom pregnant with me anywhere in the house. When I asked again a few weeks later, Dad snapped. Enough. There's nothing to find. You're being paranoid and honestly ungrateful. We gave you everything. That word. Gave, not raised. Gave. So I saved up $60 for my part-time job at the grocery store and bought a DNA test kit. Did the whole thing in my bathroom at midnight. Mailed it without telling anyone. 3 weeks later, the results came back. And there it was. A match. Not some distant fourth cousin twice removed. A sister. A full biological sister named Gemma. She was 23, living 40 minutes away in Ridgemont, and according to her profile, she'd been actively searching for biological relatives for 6 years. My hands were shaking when I messaged her. She responded within an hour, said she'd been waiting for this moment since she turned 18. Then she told me everything. Our birth mother's name was Noelle. She was 19 when she had Gemma, 21 when she had me. She wasn't some deadbeat who abandoned us. She was a broke single mom working 2 jobs trying to keep us fed and clothed. When I was 2, Child Protective Services got involved. Not because she was neglecting us, but because a neighbor reported her for leaving us with a teenager while she worked overnight shifts. My adoptive parents swooped in during the custody proceedings. They had money, lawyers, connections at the family court. They wanted a baby, and the system wanted to close a case. So they buried Noelle in legal fees until she couldn't afford to fight anymore. Terminated her parental rights on a technicality. Gemma was older, harder to place. She bounced through foster care for years while I got the nice house, the private school, the parents who told me to stop asking questions. But here's the part that broke me. Noelle never stopped looking. Every year on my birthday, she filed requests with the adoption agency. Every single year. They denied her every time, and my adoptive parents made sure no information ever got through. She'd been searching for 15 years. Gemma gave me her number. I called that night from my car parked 3 blocks away. The woman who answered was crying before I even finished saying my name. We talked for 4 hours. She told me about the apartment she kept decorated with pictures of me as a baby, the journal she'd written in every year, letters she planned to give me someday, the way she'd drive past my elementary school sometimes just hoping to catch a glimpse. 3 days after that call, there was a knock at our front door. It was a Saturday morning. Dad was reading the paper. Mom was making eggs. I heard her open the door. Then nothing. Complete silence. When I came downstairs, a woman was standing in the doorway, mid-40s, brown hair streaked with gray, eyes the exact same shape as mine. She was trembling. Mom had gone pale. Dad dropped his newspaper. Noelle looked past both of them like they weren't even there. Her eyes found mine and she started crying. I'm your mother, she said, and I never gave you up. They took you from me. Dad tried to speak. Something about trespassing, about calling the police, but his voice cracked and nothing else came out. Mom just sank into a chair, head in her hands, sobbing. I walked past both of them, straight to the woman in the doorway. The woman who'd spent 15 years fighting to find me while the people who raised me told me there was nothing to find. She hugged me so tight I couldn't breathe. I didn't pull away.